The history of Geometry Dash's hardest levels. This is a video people have wanted me to watch for a very long time now. Since we've been grinding on Bloodbath now for almost 20 days, what better time to learn about all the other hardest levels in Geometry Dash history? Ha-cha-cha!
How did we go from levels as easy as this to clearing the hardest challenges in not just Geometry Dash but in all of gaming? The story of the toughest levels is one of rivalry, bravery, and
We've talked about this before, but the way we got there was because with any game that has custom levels that are created by its community, as the skill of the player base improves, so too will the challenge of the custom levels built. A good example of this is in the game Celeste, which was my mainstream game before GD. A similar thing happened.
victory, and today we'll talk about how a couple
Sorry for ruining the video, but that's why the ceiling in games like this continues to rise indefinitely.
dozen players push this game to its absolute limit. With how much we look up to top levels today, would you believe me if I said that they actually used to be hated and disliked into oblivion? Back in the day, players wanted to show off by collecting as many stars as possible. RobTop gave high
I've heard about that a bit even now. Like, I've heard that people are just like, they're so much more focused on star count and being able to like, it's like how we've talked about how people get really pissed off when one of their hardest levels they've grinded, it gets like demoted a rank or whatever. And I'm just like, dude, who cares? Just play the game, beat the level. If you beat the level when it's one of the hardest levels in the game, you should still be proud of that, even if 5 years from now it's not even like top 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
quality levels are rating from 1 to 9 based on their difficulty, and the higher the rating, the more stars you'd get from beating it and the farther you'd climb up the ranks. So when some crazy crackpot creator came along and built a level that really deserved a rating of, say, 30 stars when it could only be given 9 max, you can imagine how badly people reacted to that. And that was the fate of Demon Park by M2 Cole. Why torture myself with this stupidly hard level when I can play an easier one and get the same amount of stars? Unlike the rest of the
Exactly, but that comes from like an issue with priorities, right? It comes from like, I'm the kind of player who I would play the harder level because I want to be able to say that I beat a harder level. Stars be damned. Like, why do I care?
crowd though, RobTop was very impressed by how M2 Cole pushed the limits of his game, and to honor it, he added the new demon difficulty in the next update. The amount of them you've beaten were displayed on your profile, letting you flex on your friends at school. Little did RobTop know that this tiny change would start a huge years-long journey to see just how far players can push this game. 4 other levels became demons after the update, with one leading the pack to become our first true top 1 level. But in the beginning,
Oh, y'all said this in the TCD video where I couldn't remember the name of Demon Park. Someone was like, actually, there is an Extreme Park.
of this game's history, the top spot would switch hands many times. By early 2014, Element 111 RG
If you beat 9 circles right now, under 7 attempts, I'll gift the sub. Hey, man, so we're reacting to a video right now.
found itself on top, making
And there's 37 minutes left of it.
it both the hardest level in the game and the most mysterious. Just take a look. Why is it empty? Well, the truth is, we don't actually know what it looked like. Our understanding of it comes from little screenshots and recreations based off memory. The people who played it all agreed that it was the most brutal map ever created. Too
I don't like
brutal
memory
to have
levels.
been beaten legitimately. You see, to post a level online, you must clear it yourself to verify it's actually possible, cause you know, RobTop doesn't want impossible maps everywhere. But crafty creators have found ways to get around this and throw their ridiculous levels on the server. And in the case of Element 111 RG, it had a secret way, a sneaky path only the creator knew of that allowed you to skip the hardest parts of the level and breeze your way through it.
Dude, how many times has this happened in a level? Because that would be crazy if on a level like of the magnitude of Bloodbath, there was a secret way. Wait, oh, is that where the term secret way comes from? I thought a secret way was just another way for like a swag route or whatever. I'm dumb. That's so cheese, man.
Well, a few days after RobTop raided it, the not-so-secret way was discovered, and its demon badge was revoked. The level was later deleted by its creator for unknown reasons and lost to time. This left Silent Club in the #1 spot, another near impossible map. Why do I say that? Well, the second you enter it, you're greeted
Swag route is usually unintentional. Secret way is intentional. Interesting.
with this. Nobody could get past this crazy spam parts, especially on their crappy smartphones. Yeah, by this point, Geometry Dash wasn't even available on PC yet. I really have no clue why RobTop unrated element
Don't forget to like and subscribe, chat.
111 RG, but said Silent Club was just fine. Even though there wasn't a secret way, the creator couldn't have possibly beaten it without hacking or something. Because the level was so far out of everybody's reach, people began going after maps that were right below it. Just as you should be going after that juicy subscribe button and pressing it. In January of 2015,
Dude, I literally predicted it before he said it.
GG Boy's Cataclysm was all the rage, not only because it was beautifully built, but the map was very intimidating. Look at this fast wave part at the beginning, which also changed your size and forced you into tight gaps. Not fun.
But Bloodbath is harder than Cataclysm, right?
Though GG Boy would later confess to hacking the level, people wondered if maybe, just maybe, it was actually possible to clear. I mean, beyond the wave part at the beginning, the level was actually somewhat manageable, especially now that the game was ported to PC, and pros started using their keyboards and mice instead of their greasy, nasty smartphones. Well, to the surprise of everyone, the rising Korean star Cyclic would give it a go. He'd worked through the level,
Cyclic.
and in May of 2015, the impossible became the possible, and with the limiting belief shattered, 3 other players slated just a few days after. This was hands down the hardest level ever beaten legitimately, especially now that Silent Club was exposed for its super secret way. But these 4 survivors of the Cataclysm weren't satisfied yet.
I've talked about this before on stream, but I do find it interesting about Geometry Dash. It feels like there's almost a mental block to any given top 1. And then once even one person beats it, that mental block kind of dissolves. It's like, isn't it kind of crazy to you all how Bloodbath was once a top 1 and now like all these people are jumping to it? Like, I don't know how many people have actually beaten Bloodbath, but like, I'm going to be a Bloodbath victor soon. When I'm practicing that, that's constantly in the back of my head. Like when I'm kind of getting like tilted or pissed at myself, I have to remind myself, I'm just like, okay, but you're playing what was once one of the hardest levels in the game. It seems pedestrian now, but like it's actually, it matters.
Cyclic had shown the world how far the game could be pushed, and players everywhere wondered just how much farther they could go.
Yeah, 60 hertz is a good point too.
Creators began cooking up a level that would build off Cataclysm's theme, but dwarf it in difficulty. The level, Bloodbath, was set to be verified by Riot. He was one of the first to beat Cataclysm, and if he beat it, it would 100% become the #1 level in the game. Not wanting to be left behind in the race for the top, Cyclic began building his own map, Sonic Wave. Its light blue theme contrasted Bloodbath.
I didn't know Cyclic made Sonic Wave. That's the level I'm planning on jumping to after Bloodbath.
It's dark red, but its difficulty far surpassed it. Sonic Wave was what you'd get if you took that fast wave section from the beginning of Cataclysm and stretched it throughout the entire level. And when Cyclic beat the map, it was unbelievable. Like, it was literally unbelievable. With the recent
I'll address this now because some people missed it. I was talking about Zoink jumping to Zodiac. When I made that plan, I had never watched gameplay of Zodiac before. I then watched the stream where Connix was playing Zodiac, where he then decided to drop Zodiac, and I was like, yeah, I'm good on this level. Yeah, I'm good. This level is 3 minutes long, and I don't really like the way it looks nor how it plays for like a stream experience. I think it's a great level. But when I was imagining myself streaming it, I was like, I don't think so.
Disposal of one of Geometry Dash's most popular players, people were getting more.
So that's my bad. I was talking about how I was going to do the Zoink jump to Zodiac before I did any kind of research. That is my bad. I like watching the level and being like, Is this the kind of level that I could see myself
Or
playing?
watchful for cheaters and hackers. Cyclic claims to have beaten the level off camera, but you're smart. You know what has happened so far. 2 other top levels are exposed for having secret ways. Would you really trust him if he said he beat this? RobTop sure as hell didn't. He was tired of impossible levels popping up on his servers, and so without video proof, he refused to give the level a demon rating. Because of this, Cyclic made the next most logical move. He buffed the shit out of Sonic Wave and beat it again.
Oh, that's right. I think some people in chat were just talking about this. I forgot that there was like an old version of Sonic Wave. Was the old version of Sonic Wave also on the list, but then the buff version became top 1, or were they both top 1 levels?
Don't ask me why he did this, because if people weren't questioning his legitimacy then, they were certainly questioning it now. I guess he wanted to be 1000% sure that it was harder than Bloodbath and it would stay on the top for a while. By this point, the level was finished and Riot was making good progress on it, even though it looked really tough. RobTop rated Sonic Wave this time around because
Oh, right. They were literally just saying in the video that the old version was never rated. Sorry, I know a lot of random GD information. I still have a little bit of trouble connecting the dots myself.
Cyclic posted video proof of him beating it, but the community suspected that the footage was hacked. Why? Well, just look at the level. There was just no way that a human could clear something this hard. I mean, at 100%
Yeah, like Thinking Space 2 is one thing. Sonic Wave.
speed, does this look possible to you? After facing pressure from everyone, he'd update the level again, this time to some random joke map, a sort of middle finger to all the haters. Because of this, RobTop then unrated the level, causing the #1 spot to be lost. Riot was still making steady progress on Bloodbath, especially thanks to a shiny new 144Hz monitor he got. Why does that matter? Well, high frame rates are useful in all video games, as they reduce input lag and make the game feel smoother. But in Geometry Dash before update 2.2, high FPS monitors were absolutely crucial for competitive play because they literally broke the game in a good way. The ship was
Don't worry, chat. I am playing on a 144 hertz monitor for Bloodbath. So don't worry, I'm not playing Bloodbath on 60 FPS.
much easier to control, the wave was way more responsive, and timings were just so much more accurate. As a high FPS player myself, playing on low made me feel like there was an anvil weighing me down or something.
I bet.
There's no other way to describe it. So what do you get when you give one of the greatest players of the era a 144Hz monitor?
A really good player.
Oh my god!
Dude, I bet like that is like, I mean, he already made the anvil comparison, but I bet that is like, that's like Goku with the training weights on. For all the people who were grinding Bloodbath during that era where it was just like on 60 hertz, dude, the immediate skill boost when you switch to higher hertz must have been unfathomable. Like, that's so cool. It makes me consider, people have probably done this because Geometry Dash creators are really smart. Like, what if you tried to beat a hard level, but on 60 FPS? Some levels that might genuinely be like impossible.
The difficulty ceiling was pushed even
Not
more.
worth it at all?
Like,
Yeah, probably.
a lot more. With 144Hz players being so rare, hardly anyone would make serious progress on the level for a while. Competitive Geometry Dash was a locked door, and the key to it was a crap ton of money for expensive equipment. Sure, you could do some pretty impressive stuff playing on 60Hz or mobile, but if you wanted to play in the big leagues, you had to pay up. And that's shown by the fact that it took months for anyone else besides Riot to clear the level, and the ones who did were all playing on 144Hz. Because Quasar was the first survivor of the Bloodbath, he was chosen to verify a remake of it some passionate creators were building. The level took what made Bloodbath so hard, the straight fly and the tough timings, and pushed it even farther, even extending it by an entire minute. This level, now called Bloodlust, was no small task, as you can see.
So why don't you make that a question in one of your TCD quizzes? Because I knew the answer to that
But
one.
final exams were approaching for Quasar, and his playtime was hampered because of his hand pain, like bad hand pain. It would hurt after being on for just 10 minutes. So Quasar's next move wasn't a surprise to anyone. Thankfully, the player Nobleboy stepped in to carry the torch.
Wait, this video is really fun, chat. I love this.
He wasn't one of the first to be bloodbath, clearing it 3 months after Quasar, and he wasn't that well known either, so people doubted whether he was skilled enough. I mean, would you trust him? If you wanted to pick someone to verify the hardest level in the game, who would you go with? The number 1 player or number 9? Taking on...
I'd go with number 9 because I'm always going to support the underdog, chat. I love a good underdog story. Call me Unk, call me, but you can't beat the classics.
Bloodlust wasn't simply carrying the torch. It was more like carrying a
It's like, if you want someone to build a house for you, are you going to go for the top rated one on Google? Or are you going to go for the guy who has 1 star, but he's been grinding for like the past week? You go for the 1-star guy every time. And yeah, sure, like your foundation might collapse and your house might not even be standing like a month from now, but you know, you got to throw a dog a bone.
2001 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. Would he really be able to get the job done? We'll find out after a quick message from today's sponsor, War Thunder. It's the biggest vehicle combat game ever created.
Wow.
For new War
Oh,
Thunder.
wow.
It can only be found on
Wow.
PC.
Yeah. The War Thunder,
Xbox,
dude.
and I
Yeah.
hope to see you there.
Pretty cool.
Now let's get back to Nobleboy and Bloodlust. Though everybody questioned his skill, he would silence the doubters by making quick progress on the level. The grind had begun. Meanwhile, there was some shifting around on the demon list, and the Thanatos would find itself on top. The map
What? Anathanatos?
was a smidge harder than Blood.
Oh no, he said and a Thanatos. Dude, but that name sounds like if and a Thanatos, if that was the full name, and a Thanatos, that sounds so cool.
And verified by Aurorus, a very skilled player from... Aurorus was a hacker? Huh. I guess some things never change. I don't know how he thought he'd get
But this is the only person who ever hacked in Geometry Dash, right? Aurorus?
away with this for a second. The video was so obviously no clip that people laughed the verification off. Despite this, RobTop still rated it. Don't ask me why. Another hacked.
Wait, what? Yeah, no, I need to ask you why, because if we had the genuine Cyclic on Sonic Wave and he had so much reticence words, he had so much hesitance to rate it. Why did I understand now why he told me not to ask why?
Top 1 on the demon list. Great. Thankfully, the player Sonix was here to save the day and beat it legitimately, and Nobleboy was not far behind. Wait, Nobleboy? Wasn't he supposed to be playing Bloodlust? Throughout the verification, he tended to get a bit distracted of Bloodlust quite a bit, which sparked a lot of drama. Beating
Forgot
other
ADHD?
top levels and building his own, Bloodlust was seemingly his second priority, and while some believe he should be able to do whatever he wanted, others thought he should take responsibility as the verifier of the level and lock in, especially as progress began.
Look, everybody's allowed to procrastinate a little bit, chat. Like, I feel like when someone's decided their main goal for something, I feel like it's their prerogative. If they want to, they can take little breaks. It's okay. They don't always got to be doing it. I'm of the opinion, like, I can be very, like, you know, regimented. I've been very singularly focused on Bloodbath, but, like, it's okay to do other things. It's okay to mix and mingle here and there, you know? I think it's important to, for longevity and to also mitigate your chances for burnout.
And to slow, Nobleboy took on a Thanatos.
Like, it's not like when you make something a main priority, it has to be your sole priority, right? It's just like the thing at the top of your list.
Proved to
This is what people misunderstand and oftentimes self-sabotage themselves over.
everyone he was still one of the greatest players in the game, and to have something to show off on his YouTube channel. And I guess it worked. With his confidence up, he'd go back to slaying the Bloodlust beast. In the meantime, people watched as pros tried to clear Sonic Wave. Yeah, that level by Cyclic we spoke about earlier. Even though it was maybe, possibly...
Dude, I mean, I have people literally on Spotify because on Spotify, they only have like my react videos. I have people in my comments on Spotify who are just like, bro's doing anything but Bloodbath. And it's just like, no. And like, to be honest, I have nice commenters on Spotify too, who literally go to bat for me. They're just like, dude, he plays Bloodbath every stream. You just only watch him here, so you only see the reacts. But people find a reason to complain about anything, especially with content creators. They're like, I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's like, if you like a content creator, why do you badger them about stuff? That's what I don't get.
Sorta hacked, players still wondered if it was actually doable. I mean, we thought Cataclysm was impossible until someone determined enough came along and cleared it. Could Sonic Wave be beaten with enough effort too? That was the question Mifui had on his mind back in 2015. For months he'd grind the level, making slow but steady progress. I mean, he wasn't the greatest player out there. This was the hardest level he had played up to this point, and well,
wow, holy
going for
base.
Sonic Wave was a huge jump, but this underdog story got everybody hooked, especially because he wasn't playing.
It's weird because people are talking about jumping in this game as if it's something that was just discovered over like the past year. But it seems pretty indicative that like jumping levels has been a big part of Geometry Dash's history for like pretty much, sorry, no pun intended, from the jump.
Playing on the same version of Sonic Wave that Cyclic had created. No. He took what was already a near impossible map and buffed it even more to the point that it would definitely be #1 for years to come. Though he was leading in progress,
Yeah, it might be more
another
relevant
player
now,
would
that's
come
fair.
to challenge him, and it would be none other than Riot. With tons of players now catching up to his skill and clearing Bloodbath, he was looking for another challenge to keep ahead of the game. The race was on, with both of them making good progress into the new year.
But where is Doggy?
98, just a couple clicks away from the end. Looking at the buffs Mifui made to the level, you can see just
Dude, there's just 2% left. Like, just beat it. I don't see what the big deal is.
how much more tragic this moment was. He
Rage bait, please. I'm sorry.
clearly bit off more than he could chew, and if he had just played on Cyclic's original version like Riot, it would have been over. The two
Oh, Doggy was still just puppy. I see.
competitors kept duking it out, but that 98% fail would be the farthest either of them would get. And with Cyclic coming out to confirm everyone's suspicions and admitting to hacking Sonic Wave, players were losing hope. Thankfully, in the summer, new faces joined the Sonic Wave race. Quirr was especially interesting because they sort of just came
I know about this, guys. I already know about Quirr. This isn't one person. It's actually a bunch of different people. Am I right?
out of nowhere, beating the hardest levels in the game with ease. And now they were coming close to clearing Sonic Wave,
Learning.
which was really abnormal. No normal player could
Nice.
just jump in and dominate the competitive scene. And if you suspected something sketchy was going on, you'd be right. Quirr was not one, but many. A secret group made
Yes, Quirr was the social experiment video we
up
watched.
of Geometry Dash's best. One guy beat Cataclysm for them, another beat Bloodbath, and wouldn't you know it, Mifui was the one playing Sonic Wave for them. Why would they even do that, you might ask? Well, you know, 'cause it's funny. The plan was to have him carry
That's what broke my brain so much in the social experiment video, dude. I was just like, but why? But what was the point? And everyone in chat was just like, huh?
through and beat the level before the big surprise, but Auroras found out about it and snitched, causing the project to be abandoned. God, this guy only causes trouble. With Mifui going inactive after the incident, it seemed like Riot would lead the way and clear the level, with him getting a personal record of 96. That
Wow.
was until Sonic showed up. Remember the guy from
Sonic.
Thanatos? He was fresh off the back of some of the hardest levels in the game, including one that combined Cataclysm and Bloodbath to make one extra long and extra tough Extreme Demon. To say this guy was skilled would be an understatement. 88 in just a couple of days. This
Sorry, that can we one more time? That was really funny.
88 and skilled
Just a third time.
would be an understatement. 88 in just a couple of days.
Well-
This was terrifying for Riot, who had been playing Sonic Wave for almost a year now. Was Sonic just going to swoop in and take the verification? Especially with Riot on the cusp of beating it? Out of respect for him, Sonic agreed to wait until Riot verified the level before he came in and beat it himself. But just a few days later, Sonic was streaming Sonic Wave, practicing the map, and then he beat it accidentally, ending the year-long race to clear the
Dude,
level.
I hope he made a YouTube video called How I Accidentally Beat Sonic Wave. If he didn't, he's missing out on like hundreds of thousands of views.
The achievement
You seen this? Like saying I accidentally and then video title. It's free, bro.
Was so impressive that people brushed off the promise he made. Sonics was now the king of the game and Riot was left in the dust. He'd unsurprisingly quit the game soon after. Though Sonic Wave was easily the hardest level in the game, it would often find itself placed at number 2, even number 3 at one point. Why? Well, just put yourself in the shoes of a Geometry Dash fan in 2017. Everywhere
That smiley in the Converse was adorable, by the way.
players are overhyping their hard projects, hoping to snag a bit of fame. So when someone beat one of these tough maps, it was very easy to get swept up in the excitement and place it at number 1, especially with their verifiers exaggerating its difficulty to make sure their names are on top. But once more and more people play through it,
I hadn't really considered that. Wow, that's kind of gatekeepy. I guess, yeah, if you verify a level, you have the full credence to just be able to be like, dude, don't even try, man. Don't even try. This one's, I'm top dog. Ooh, ooh, woo wee. Ooh, woo wee. Ooh. That's crazy.
Placement is always fixed. At least these shenanigans allowed for this beautiful RGB pattern, or GBR? BRG? Yeah, the 20...
Y'all, do you want to see me play the RGB series at some point? Frickin' wait. Oh, I'm going to jump to Sonic Wave. So if I jump to Sonic Wave after Bloodbath, I would just have to do Erebus and Yada, right?
RGB pattern.
That'd be so peak.
Or GBR? BRG? Yeah, the 2017 Demon List was
What are the ratings of each of these? Sonic Wave's around top 300. Where are Erebus and Yada?
pretty weird. And Sonic Wave would only be properly dethroned well over a year later by Plasma Pulse Finale, though this map wouldn't hold the top spot for long. While Sonics was Sonicing with Sonic Wave, Numbleboy was Numbleboying with Bloodlust. Into 2017, he was making slow but steady progress, achieving new highs every few weeks.
No!
97. It stung,
Brutal.
but it was a good sign. If he got that far, he could surely do it again and pull through, right? Right?
What the fuck?
It's actually just painful to watch. 2 crushing fails
All right, so the RGB series is all like top 300. Got it.
back to back, literally in the same hour. As you can imagine, this was pretty demotivating. Even though Numbleboy would continue playing as much as ever, progress slowed as the grind drew longer and longer. Rage increased. It was clear that the grind was taking a toll on him, but
Wait, is he a horse? Is Nobleboy a horse?
grew longer and longer. Rage increased.
He's neighing.
It was clear that the grind was taking a toll on him, but he couldn't give up. He couldn't give in and prove
Why is no one talking about this?
everyone who doubted him right. He just couldn't. And so, through the rage and the disappointments, he'd keep on fighting. When 2018 rolled around, Numbleboy had officially spent well over a year trying to beat this monstrous level. And even though he was trying his best, people were getting impatient. There were much better players around. The competitive scene was growing so much.
Oh, he's from the Netherlands? Oh, now I feel bad. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad. That's fair. He was just saying no. I'm just gonna end stream, guys.
Especially as people upgraded from 144Hz monitors to 240 ones. And here was this relic of the past still struggling with this now ancient, outdated level. The player Krazen had enough of it. He got his hands on a leak
I thought he was just caught up in the heat of the moment and just kind of like couldn't get his words out. I'm sorry.
copy of Bloodlust and began making quick progress on the level, aiming to verify it himself. Many thought he should drop it out of respect for Numbleboy. After all, he essentially owned the level and had already invested hundreds of hours of playtime into it. But Krazen thought, if he can't do it, I will. This was absolutely terrifying for Numbleboy, but thankfully, the community sided with them, and Krazen was overwhelmingly pressured to drop the level. Such a scare must have pushed Numbleboy to pause and reflect. He couldn't just let this new-gen kid disrespect
Wait, what's wrong with Krazen?
him like that. He had to lock in and finish the job.
Oh, he's not a good person? He's a cheese pizza lover? What's wrong with... Right. Okay.
1.5 years, 120,000 attempts, and 1,000 hours of playtime down, Geometry Dash had its new hardest level. You'd think it would take months for anyone else to beat this monstrous map, but if you thought that, well, you'd be dead wrong. Just 2 weeks after Numbleboy, Scullo cleared the map, closely followed by Sunix. However, the reason they beat it so fast was because they were secretly hacking the game, but not in the way you'd expect. You see, unlike Numbleboy, Krazen, or any of the other top Geometry Dash players, Scullo and Sunix didn't have fancy high FPS monitors, probably because they couldn't afford them. So
Wait, I literally talked about building a house earlier.
instead, they used a hack called the FPS bypass that basically makes your game act like it's running on a high frame rates even with a dog crap potato monitor. At the time, this tool was banned because, well, it was hacking. And because Scullo and Sunix were exposed for using it, they were shunned from the competitive community and their records were considered illegitimate. Years later, I still feel bad for them, but oh well, you can't change the past. Unlike Sonic Wave, Bloodlust would stay unchallenged in the top spot for a while. It was in a league of its own in terms of difficulty, and it
When are you admitting to no clipping to beat Stereo Madness? You can't prove that. Sorry, I got super defensive.
would take a year for it to be overtaken by Zodiac. The level was hacked onto the servers by its verifier.
I didn't do that. Stop.
But thankfully, the player Technical was here to save the day and beat it legit. I love
I definitely seem like someone who's not guilty right now, right?
how history repeats itself. But of course, as you know by now, top levels don't stay up there for long. There's always someone to come along and push the limit even further.
Hey, there's that
whether
anvil
they
again.
be a courageous player or a malicious hacker. And the next jump in difficulty would be something we've never seen before. Though Riot quit the competitive scene back in 2017, he'd pop back into the community for one last secret project. Originally called Silent Akbar, it was created way back in the day along with Cyclic to see just how high the
is
limit of
this?
this game truly was. But they accidentally made
Yeah.
it too hard,
This is it.
to even try. And like Silent Club before it, nobody attempted it seriously.
This
but
is
with
it.
how much the community's skill had increased over the past few years, Riot and his team of creators felt the time was right to revive the level, now called Tartarus.
You're right. It's not a great look for an initial name. The current plan, chat, is I'm going to jump from Bloodbath to Sonic Wave, then Sonic Wave to Tartarus, then Tartarus to Slaughterhouse.
Map does show its age.
That's why I recognized it immediately.
It's very dark and not the most attractive thing in the world, but the sheer madness of its
I don't like the dark levels, man. That is the one thing. If I don't like Tartarus, I might skip over it, man. Although I know Slaughterhouse also what is this? Why are we adding so many, why are we turning the lights on and off on a level? Why are we doing this? Let's keep the lights on so we can see what we're doing, and the difficulty of the level can stare us right in the face. Why are we flicking the lights on and off and saying so it's harder? That's not meaningful difficulty. By obscuring the vision of the player, that is not meaningful difficulty. It's annoying, I think.
difficulty got everybody's eyes on it. And to make things even more interesting,
This is the beginning of my campaign for top levels to get rid of turning off the lights. Yes, it's artificial difficulty. That is a great way to put it. Yes, it's artificial difficulty. Stop turning the lights on and off. Thoughts?
Riot hacked the level onto the servers, leaving
You're right. It probably can't be done tastefully.
the map open for anyone brave enough to beat, and people got right onto it, recording some good runs here and there, hoping to become the winner of Riot's race. But players would soon realize just how much of a struggle this task would be and eventually drop it, leaving the map to be forgotten, just as it had been back in the day. I mean, just look at this. Could you blame them? The word Tartarus is literally the ancient Greek term
Tartarus, the infernal regions of ancient Greek mythology. The name was originally used for the deepest region of the world, the lower of the two parts of the underworld where the gods locked up their enemies. It gradually came to mean the entire underworld.
for hell.
Denny was a Greek god? Yeah, basically.
And its gameplay was true to that. But as we've seen from the heroes of our story, anything is possible. With enough grit, determination,
Nah, nothing is possible. Give up on your dreams, Chad.
and a bit of luck, anything
Satire.
is possible. And as people's eyes were focused on the newly verified Zodiac, the player Mosey would turn back to Tartarus and start grinding it. Despite the fact that he was dealing with wrist pains and a part-time job, he'd quickly make fast progress on the level, soon getting the world record run. All eyes were on him. Nobody else was skilled enough, or should I say courageous enough, to take on the Tartarus beast. And seeing him make real good
Doggy played Tartarus.
progress into 2019 was absolutely fascinating. And in March,
Doggy played Tartarus.
he'd reach a new high of 91%. Though the fail stung, it was
Right?
still a good sign. Mosey was just a couple clicks away from beating the hardest level ever created. And like Cyclic with Cataclysm, he was showing the entire world that it was possible, that it could be beaten. And though it was a
Sabadabado, shabadabado, sabadabababa.
very inspirational story, it would also end up causing his downfall. Remember, Mosey didn't own Tartarus. He wasn't the set verifier. It was a race. He just happened to be the only one running. But now, seeing how close he was getting to the finish line, other players were stepping in and trying to catch up. The player Dolphy was fresh from clearing Zodiac, looking for a new challenge when he picked up Tartarus. And he'd very quickly get a run of 55% in July. But thankfully for Mosey, this would be the farthest he'd get, and Dolphy would soon get bored and pursue other projects.
Am I crazy? Why are there so many houses in this video?
Leaving the track empty again. He
Why is every Geometry Dash player a construction
still
worker?
had a good lead, but the threats of another, more skilled competitor swooping in and beating him must have been stuck at the back of his head as he was playing. Being off for the summer, Mosey would continue relentlessly grinding through Tartarus, and I'd love to say that this was the moment where he finally kills off the level and wins the race. But of course, things are never that simple. The nerves got to him. You can tell in his voice just how demotivating this was. And from this point, he'd take a break from the level. He could surely afford to, being only a couple clicks away from the finish line. But as Mosey's break went from a weeks-long one to a months-long one, other competitors were stepping in, and Dolphy would soon come back to lead the way. In December, he'd quickly record a 78% run, then 91. He was doing what took Mosey a couple of months and a couple of days. And as you can imagine, this was absolutely horrifying for him. But Dolphy would keep going, getting farther and farther into the level.
Что? 98.
No!
What the fuck?
History doesn't repeat itself, but it sure as hell rhymes. And while Mifui never
Dude, I say that on stream all the time and no one believes me.
beat Sonic Wave after his fail, and Nobleboy took another couple of months on Bloodlust, Dolphy would clear Tartarus just a few days after, sneaking right ahead of Mosey at the finish line. Players couldn't believe what had just happened. There was no way this random Russian guy just raced ahead of Mosey, who had stuck with this level for well over a year. He had to be a hacker, he just had to. Even though his recordings had clicks and everything looked fine, players began digging up evidence to prove themselves right. Dolphy must be hiding something. He never does live streams. Dolphy has the Xbot hack on his computer. Dolphy's clicks sound
It's a little sus. I mean, the video is definitely leading me in that direction. We can all, it's a little sus.
fake.
It's a little sussy back among us. We can all admit it's a little sussy back among us. When we look at the information, the way it all kinds of add together, it's a little sussy back among us.
It's like they're sped up. He must have recorded in hacked half speed and sped the footage back up. Though their evidence was questionable for reasons we'll get into, everyone believed it. Dolphy was trying to prove his innocence, but the language barrier didn't help at all. To make matters even more complicated, Mosey himself would clear the level a month later, and he was being considered the the real verifier of Tartarus, with RobTop rating his version over Dolphy's. Thankfully, other English players stepped in to argue on Dolphy's behalf, disputing the evidence they brought up. I mean, if players look just a bit deeper beyond the loud, eye-catching titles and thumbnails, they'd realize the same thing too. Dolphy never streamed, but neither did tons of other top players who weren't good in front of cameras. He had the Xbot hack on his computer, but that didn't mean he used it on Tartarus. And about Dolphy's click sounding sped up, here's some footage of him playing with a hand cam. Doesn't look sped up, does it? Dolphy's innocence was proved. However, Molesy still had the official version of Tartarus on his account. He had two choices. Either keep it there so he could soak in a bit of that extra fame, or he could ask RobTop to move the rated version to Dolphy's account because, you know, he beat it first, fair and square. And in a true act of sportsmanship, he did just that. The one who was most stung by Dolphy's victory was the one—
I think the most incriminating thing is that he had the hacking tool downloaded, but it's not like he was using it. Like, was that satire? Or was that actually like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, well, you know, he owned a giant harpoon, and the harpoon had blood on it. But it's not like he was spearing fish with it. He just had a harpoon with blood on it. You know what I'm saying?
One who made things right in the end. Riot and his team sure as hell succeeded.
Oh, people use hack to practice. Okay.
In building the toughest level in the game, while other players would soon trickle in and clear the map. The thought of beating something harder than it wouldn't cross people's minds for a while. Tartarus was seen as the pinnacle of difficulty, the last step ahead. No reasonable person would even think of playing something harder than it. But thankfully, for the purposes of our story, the Geometry Dash community was filled with unreasonable people. And I mean that in the nicest way.
The Geometry Dash community was filled with unreasonable people. I'm not sure if I buy that, man. Satire. Satire. Some of y'all are insane. Some of y'all. Not all of you, but holy cow, bro. I have been a part of this community for only 4 months, and I know that intimately. In the bowels of my soul. What the hell is some of the stuff that happens in this community, man? What the hell? It's insane.
Way possible. Weeks turned into months, and months turned into a year, and people were just edging to knock Tartarus off, especially because by this point, the FPS bypass was finally allowed for competitive play, and you could crank it up all the way to 360. A pro team of creators remade and super buffed the infamous Sonic Wave, and when the top player Zanny got his hands on the level, now called Sonic Wave Infinity, people were ready to see Tartarus go down. His progress was steady, with him hitting good milestones every few weeks. Alongside this map, Dill's Stick was making his way through another top level named Abyss of Darkness, making 2 maps gunning for the top.
Abyss of Darkness.
Tartarus.
Abyss of Darkness.
Tartarus.
Do we follow?
Top spot. I was around back then, and seeing these players fight through these beastly levels was so inspiring. Even though I wasn't the one playing, I could just feel the effort they were putting in to make the next big jump in difficulty.
Because Tartarus just kind of reminds me of tartar sauce. You know what I'm saying? I know Tartarus has that cool like mythological thing, but every time I see Tartarus, I'm just like, oh yeah, tartar sauce. I'm gonna eat a fillet of fish.
And in May, Zanny got close, like real close.
Everyone calls Tartarus tartar sauce. Great minds think alike.
What?
Okay, I know.
Dude, I was not born into the GD community, but I was thrust into it.
I know this is the 3rd time I've shown them a Huey clip, but it's just
Maybe I was always destined to be a dasher.
so funny seeing how things like this repeat over time, even though you can just feel the pain they were both going through. Thankfully, Zanny pushed through the crazy demotivation and relentlessly fought through Sonic Wave Infinity.
No one else heard that I said Jasher. Stop it.
Oh my god!
So Tartarus was overthrown, right? Well, not quite. It was expected to place number 1, and Zanny said it was number 1, but when pros got their hands on it, they said it was actually number 3.
If you made a top 1, how would you name it?
Super death kill level. Don't play this level, you big baby. You're gonna get hurt.
Huge disappointment. Dethroning Tartarus would be a lot harder than we thought. But hey, at least we got a new RGB on the top of the demon list, and
Over the character limit? Huh. Depends on how you spell it.
this time, it was actually in the right order. Such perfection. With Sonic Wave Infinity failing, attention shifted to Ultra Kuua's Arcturus and Trix Firework. Both were top levels aiming to knock out Tartarus, and both were on the brink of being verified. Whoever beat their level first would be cemented in Geometry Dash
I'd call it vengeance. Wow. Yep, that's a dap up. Oh my god, wow.
history as the slayer of Tartarus.
Wow.
The stakes couldn't get any higher. Meanwhile, Riot and his team were back cooking up another level. Tartarus was thought to be his last project in the game, but Riot had another map up his sleeve, Acheron, the sequel to the level that started this entire journey. But from the looks of it, it wasn't above Tartarus difficulty, maybe somewhere in the top 10, though this wouldn't be the last we'd hear of it. Ultra Kuua took down Arcturus, and so Tartarus was surely overthrown this time, right? Ah, if only things were that simple. Rob Top refused to rate it, even though Ultra Kuua
Do your job, Rob Top. Why are you refusing to rate the levels? Spider-Man.
put his blood and sweat into verifying the level, the map's quality was questionable. It was far too short, not even a minute long. The decoration was, well, you could have your own opinion on that. And it didn't use an approved song from within Geometry Dash. You had to poke around in the game files and manually add it in yourself. And so, without Rob Top's approval, it joined Sonic Wave Infinity in the list of failed
Rob Top has blind spots. So do cars, but we still drive them.
Tartarus killers. To make
You gotta check your blind spots.
things
Where there's a will, there's a way.
even worse, Dill Stick would get a crushing 98% fail on Abyss of Darkness twice. After pouring tens of thousands of attempts for this moment, the fails just hurt, and he dropped it.
Oh, this guy clearly, I mean, this is a little throwaway gag, but I think some people may miss the meaning of this picture. This guy is a gas-powered human, and that is why he's filling himself with gas. But in general, you shouldn't do this if you're not a gas-powered human. This is different because this guy clearly, as we can tell, this is simple deductive reasoning. Quick note, I am a very inexperienced AI model, but from what I'm able to do from this image, this human, though most humans are not, this human, in particular in the image, is gas-powered. Which means that some humans, that opens up the door to potentially, some humans exist which are gas-powered.
Dropped it out of frustration. A third level joined the list of failed top
But you probably aren't.
ones. Dethroning Tartarus seemed like an inhuman task, but thankfully, there was an inhuman player just waiting for its time to shine. In October, a new level aiming for the top spot took everybody's attention, Slaughterhouse. Its ridiculous wave game
You can't spell slaughterhouse without laughter,
fit the map's crude name.
which is the best medicine.
That's impossible.
It wasn't just harder than Tartarus, it was a wide jump ahead, and the level was given to a secret elite group of players to verify, one of them being
Am I crazy? Like, because I know a lot of people, I mean, even Connix is kind of stalling on Slaughterhouse. This level genuinely looks fun to me. Am I insane? Like, I've watched a showcase of this level off stream. Slaughterhouse looks fun.
the now infamous Space UK. Why do I say infamous? Well, just a week
I'm genuinely not trolling. Like, it looks like my kind of level.
after it was given to him,
I know that pre-drop has a lot of like the dark fading in and out, like, but dude, like the fast wave, it looks so exhilarating. I wanna plug my brain into the level. It looks so fun. Oh, it looks fun till you play it? That's probably true. Everyone just hates the pre-drop. That makes sense.
Like, oh. Can react, otherwise I'm gonna cough so much.
He beat it. In just a week, he breezed through Slaughterhouse without breaking a sweat. A
Wow, that's really impressive. It must have been legitimate.
level that was clearly leaps ahead of Tartarus. We've seen many of the greatest players to ever touch this game try and fail to take that #1 spot, with grinds that at least lasted a couple of months. But here was Space UK, who cleared the new hardest level in the game in literally a couple of days. You're smart.
Wow.
You know what he did. He did what many others have done in Geometry Dash history. When I said
What?
he was inhuman, I literally meant inhuman. The difficulty
What?
ceiling was raised, but not in a good way. And
What?
unfortunately, nobody would catch on to what he was doing for a
No.
long time. Trick would follow up Space UK's Slaughterhouse by beating Firework a few days later. And because
Wait, I don't know because you didn't go into detail. What happened?
Rob Top is Rob Top, he didn't just rate those 2 levels, but Arcturus too, all at the same time. The community went into a frenzy.
Honestly, this is probably like my favorite video. He like the way he brought up Space UK and then just moved on from it without going deep into detail. W.
Trying to determine which of the levels was the hardest. And
We're already
this is
on to the
where
next thing.
Geometry Dash history gets real complicated. The demon list isn't perfect. It'll never be. Its placements aren't objective. They're based on the opinions of the people who have played the levels. And you can probably see where issues can arise if you have cheaters in the mix. That Space UK guy was looked upon as the most skilled, most popular player in the game. His take on a level mattered. Look at the tragic case of Varium, who beat the map Hard Machine ages before Space UK even touched Slaughterhouse. Even though the grind was absolutely brutal and the level was way harder than Tartarus, Space UK said that it wasn't, and whatever Space said was heard. He probably didn't even play the damn level, so of course
I got one. Space, you not okay?
Slaughterhouse ended up on top, followed closely by Firework, though it would soon be challenged up there. Remember Acheron, Riot's sequel to Tartarus? Well, like its big brother,
Chat, stop spamming W's.
the level was made open for anyone brave enough to beat, sparking yet another race in the community. And when the player Zoink got his hands on it, he made the challenge even more challenging, buffing it everywhere. One spike here, another one there. It soon became a Slaughterhouse killer, as well as a mental health killer. You know, it's fun to sit back on a comfy chair, maybe grab a little snack, and listen to the stories of Geometry Dash's legends. But it's
Dude, ain't it? Bro, ain't it fun? Sitting on your couch, eating a snack, and just consuming content. You do have to do other stuff, though. It can't be like your whole life, but damn, brother. If I don't look forward to the end of my day, I think it's some of y'all's end of your day. You know, you're probably doing it right now. You got my stream pulled up, or you got one of my videos pulled up, and you're just unwinding, just letting the dopamine drip into your brain after a long day's work. It ain't half bad.
easy to forget the absolute mental torture that comes with playing this game at the elite level.
Doogie! This isn't like you. Doogie, because of that, I'm out. I didn't think that you would smash your keyboard, but you just did. And I wonder what your desktop looks like.
Literally.
Ooh, Spotify, Minecraft. I've seen this clip before, chat. I knew the desktop was gonna come. That's how I knew, because I've seen the infamous keyboard smash. That was a bit that I just ran.
Everybody who's played on Zoink's version of Acheron absolutely hated it, including himself, which goes to show just how much players will sacrifice to see how far this game can go.
I verified Acheron! I verified Acheron! What?
Space UK, already the king of the game.
This goes back to our TCD video. I guess like I never considered. I guess some people do. They're just like, I guess if you're a verifier, it makes sense that you would say, I verified level name. I verified level name. But it feels AI to me. You know? I think no matter what I do, I'm going to end a level with, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not the first thing at the top of my mind.
Sat back and
But I guess we just saw like an actual example of someone, you know, or like, I beat level name. I beat level name. I beat level name. It's just not where my brain goes.
agreed that Acheron was harder than Slaughterhouse until literally a few days later when he switched up and said it wasn't. And well, you already know how powerful his opinion was. It just bugs me, you know? The same thing would happen to a whole list of other levels. Brutal challenges harder than Slaughterhouse that were cleared after stupidly long grinds, but who'd all end up below Space UK's prized achievement. It's interesting to see that after Space UK was exposed months later, all of these levels would creep up above Slaughterhouse on the demon list, which makes me think that maybe he was downplaying their difficulty to make sure his level and his name were on top. Thankfully, because everybody else thought Acheron was number 1, it eventually became number 1. Good job on verifying the top demon, Zoink. You want to see me do
Zoink!
it again? Wait, what?
I just beat Avernus right now.
You beat another top level? Amazing. Yeah. You want to see me do it again? What the fuck?
I beat Tidal Wave. Oh my god. Oh my god.
As you can see, Zoink was an absolute monster. He was like Space UK, but actually legit. And not only did he take down Slaughterhouse, he buried it. We've spoken about the greatest players this game has ever seen. Riot, Sonic's Nobleboy. But never have we had someone as dominant as him. And the crazy
We should clone Zoink. Hear me out. We should clone Zoink. What do you think?
thing is, other top players aren't that far behind in his skill. And with how fast the competitive community is growing, I can't help but wonder, when will we reach the human limit? With people
That's so base. Wait, we clone Zoink and we put them all on Heliopolis. Wait, we would literally make a mini version of how a lot of AI models work. We make a bunch of partitions of many Zoink clones and we all put them on trying to beat Heliopolis. Wait, we're cooking.
People like Zoink eating list demons for breakfast, there will be a time in the future where levels like Tidal Wave are out of the top 100. And if that sounds crazy to you, keep in mind that Bloodlust was considered the pinnacle of difficulty, and now it's not even in the top 100. Same for Sonic Wave, a Thanatos, Bloodbath, I could go on and on. You know, now that you think of it, does a human limit even exist? I mean, we thought we hit it with Cataclysm, then Cyclic came along. We thought it was over with Sonic Wave, then Sonics came along. We thought we reached it with Tartarus, then Dolphy came along. It would be naive to think.
But this is all conjecture because the true human limit, we already experienced it very early on in Geometry Dash's history. It was can't let go. So it's fun to like make up a bunch of scenarios where it's like, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if we had like these really hard levels that players could beat, when ultimately we all understand that no one can even beat Can't Let Go. So like, I'm sorry that I watched another video that was just kind of like a funny, like fictitious thought experiment. But you know, it's been a fun video.
Think that our progress would stop with any other level. So I guess if you could take anything from this video, it's that limits are just meant to be broken.
It's true. If you never test your limits, how can you ever grow beyond them? You must not play levels that you are already good at. You must play levels that test your endurance as a player, that test your sanity, that test your will to continue and persevere through this life.
If you haven't tried War Thunder yet, what do you...
I'm not going to, bro. I'm not going to play it. I'm already playing Geometry Dash. I'm just going to... Just in case he says anything else.
Game is free on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, and I hope to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, you will love this one that I picked out just for you. But anyway, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.
Dude. Okay, so that's definitive proof, because I think we watched the One Fresh Lake Water video before. We watched his Zoink video. And he instant transmissioned in that one. I thought it was an editing thing that he did in that one, but since he did it twice, I think that he does have instant transmission. I don't know if he trained with Goku or the aliens that Goku learned instant transmission from, but I do think that that's probably lore accurate. I think Fresh Lake Water does have the powers of instant transmission. I think that potentially Vernosis should interview him and ask him about that. Ask him about that and figure it out. Anyway, W video, chat. I mean, the thing that was really nice about this is I already knew a lot of these levels, but it was a very fun little walk we went. I really like these Fresh Lake Water videos, man. I think he's very good at making a very compelling little video. That was cool. Bro TP'd into Teej's basement. Yeah, I hear him coming towards the door right now, so I don't have a lot of time. But yeah, y'all, W react. Let me know what else you want me to watch, and I'll see you in the next one. Did you like that? Don't even pretend like you didn't. You made it that far in the video. Well, did you know that I stream Monday through Friday on Twitch and YouTube, and you could catch me live and get to be a part of the experience when it happens? Also, if you don't care about that, or otherwise you want to see more of the video that you just watched, link in the description to watch the full VOD. Do that, please. I have a black eye because I play basketball sometimes. Bye.